In this video, I would like to talk about inner and outer union. What is union, twin flame union, or any other kind of SP relationship, you could say, has to start on the inside first, and then, according to the law of assumption, it has to get pushed out. Because everyone and everything is you pushed out. Everything you experience is nothing but a projection, a precise mirror showing you what is on your inside. You probably heard that we have an inner child, but we also have, doesn't matter what gender we are, an inner feminine and an inner masculine. Imagine the yin-yang symbol. The masculine, the white, still has the black dot. And the feminine, the black, has the white dot. So we all carry the other energy within us at all times. The stream of consciousness we see ourselves as one being. However, we are connected to a lot of different energies. And some examples are your sun sign, astrology. You're connected to the energy, the archetype of your sun sign, of your moon sign, of your Venus sign, your rising sign, and all of that. You are connected, especially if you're interested in shamanism, but everyone is, even unknowingly, to what your totem would be. Then there's numerology. You're connected energetically to different numbers. Some of you may feel like they're connected to starseeds archetype energy. I feel connected to dragon energy or the soul archetype of the wise ones. So we all feel these different connections. We are some of different energies within us. You could say we're like a puzzle. The experiences we make on the outside show us clearly what is on our inside, what are our assumptions and beliefs. And that could be very general assumptions. It could be assumptions about different ethnicities. It could be assumptions about your family members. It could be assumptions about different countries. It could be assumptions about a different gender, old people versus young people, poor people versus rich people. We all have those assumptions. Some are conscious and others are unconscious. And all of these assumptions are shown to us even by strangers we meet. You know, we may have an assumption, some people are like this, other people are like that. And then we go out, we see all different kind of people, but still they are a projection of what is inside us. But especially important, of course, is our picture of femininity and masculinity that is created by the people in our upbringing, usually the parents. You know, the masculine people around you could be father, could be older brothers, uncles, grandfathers, that nice neighbor. You know, the masculine people in your life, especially in the first 7 years of your life, they form your picture of masculinity, your own inner masculine. And the women in your life, they form the picture of your own inner feminine. If you had amazing people around you in your childhood, well, congratulations. Then it's probably very easy for you to find somebody who treats you amazing, because if you have the assumption of masculine energy is something amazing, then you will get that pushed out because your assumptions are always proven right by the universe, and you attract people who, romantically in that case, that fit your image of masculinity, which means when we are adults, and let's say you're a heterosexual woman, you resonate more with the feminine energy, okay? Because a woman also can hold more of the masculine energy. It is not really reduced to gender. Most likely women have the feminine energy, men have the masculine energy, and in homosexual couples, it is still usually that one person attracts their counterpart, and it has nothing to do with does one person dress feminine and the other one does not. It more has to do with one person may be more rational than the other, one may be more emotional than the other. Even if both are very rational or both very emotional, you can see my video. It's the astrology video about the twin flame yin yang energy and divine counterpart playlist. Also in the video about different kind of divine counterparts, where I really explain the energy, because I talk about archetypes. But let's say you are a heterosexual woman and you identify as the feminine in your connection. Then the person you attract in your life shows you exactly the image of your own inner masculine, and vice versa. Of course, if you are a man, then the woman you would attract shows you your image of divine feminine or distorted feminine. If you were not very happy with the women around you when you grew up, if for example you have been controlled or manipulated, or maybe mom was not very nice or she was not very nurturing, all of that formed you. And it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. Usually mom is the one we first form this close connection with. And here again, it does not matter if you were a boy or a girl, usually is mom. So mom is the representative of our own inner feminine energy and determines what kind of relationships we attract, whereas the inner masculine is more connected to dad and job, career. So if you don't get any recognition in career, I would advise for you to check your father issues. Did you get positive recognition by your father? It could be vice versa, of course, if your dad was more in the traditional mother's role and your mom was more in the father energy, then of course it could be vice versa. But anyway, we get confronted with what we learned in childhood. We are trained and our own inner feminine, and here again it does not matter if we are a man or a woman, our own inner feminine determines what kind of people, energies we attract in our lives. And if you are a man, the pictures of men you had would kind of like blend in with that. So if we have distorted feminine energy, we always attract something that shows us how we vibrate and also what we perceive as typical masculine or feminine energy. If we grew up and parents were not really nice towards one another or one was not there, of course that is something that we have in our inner programs and we have to reprogram when we are adults. Because again, we get programmed in the first 7 years of our lives, and these programs, they can run until the end of our lives unless we actively reprogram them by changing our assumptions. But what is important? The other person is, as I said, the mirror to projection, the pushed out version of your own inner feminine and masculine energy, which means they are inside you. And if you try to pull them into your life on the 3D, they ghosting you, you miss them, you cry about them, that's not going to work, because you have to work on your perception of your own inner feminine and masculine. Let's say you really were unlucky and you got presented with a lot of distorted energy. And then that pushed out and you drew in more of that. Find better role models. There must be men in your life, maybe a friend's husband, or maybe you saw them in a movie or you heard about them, or you read a biography of an amazing man. Find better role models and train your subconscious mind to believe that there are amazing men out there, because as long as you think, oh man, I always attract narcissists, that is going to happen over and over and over again, because that is your image of masculinity and that is what's getting pushed out. So it is important to make peace with those energies within us, with our old beliefs and assumptions. Here, the revision technique would be an amazing technique to rewrite your past and change your memories of the past in order to delete those programs. And then you can install new programs with affirmation, with scripting, with talking to your person in your mind, but talking to the best version of them, not the distorted version. Start seeing them as the divine version, to show the universe that is what I want to attract. And if you clear that within you and you connect, let's say again you're a woman and your person is a man and a masculine, and you talk to your inner masculine that has always been with you, there is no separation. The separation on the outside is just because there is a separation within you when it comes to the feminine and the masculine energy. Because you have negative assumptions, because you have, due to your negative assumption, your programming as a child, you've had negative experiences that are still active. Maybe you don't trust masculines. Maybe you don't trust love because you are scared of getting hurt again. All of that is projected on the outside and shows up as your specific person or twin flame. So it is important not to try to change them. And manifesting in the law of assumption, never got it, that there is no one to change but self. Talk to your inner man that always has been with you. And since your inner man or your inner masculine and your inner feminine always have been with you, they have been through the same trauma you have. which means your inner masculine, if you have been traumatized, is traumatized as well. And then guess what? The person you attract is the representation of what is inside you. So you cannot attract a healed masculine. You would attract the distorted masculine or the distorted feminine. But with inner conversations, for example, with affirmation, with doing the work, with talking, connecting to your inner masculine, you can change that image. Yes, it does require work. Yes, it does require daily repetition. Yes, it does really take persistence. It is work. It is work to reprogram subconscious beliefs that you maybe had inside you. You're probably an adult for decades now. But it does work. And then, as soon as you have changed your inner image of femininity and masculinity, and please do both, because if you are a feminine, you must change your self-concept in order to attract. You heal your own inner feminine by changing your self-concept, by recognizing your worth. And you can build that up with affirmations, but again, daily, constant repetition. And by acting different, by taking your own needs serious, so that can get mirrored back to you. And then you change your image of masculinity. And then once that is set in stone, because you have repeated it often enough so that it's sunk in and you have shifted on the inside, then your 3D has to shift as well. Because again, as Neville Goddard said, everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is nothing but a projection of what is inside you. And you can change every person with that by changing your assumptions, because again, it is a projection. Or you could say creation is finished, and every version you can remember of every person does exist in this multiverse with infinite different timelines. You always get shifted into the timeline that is matching your inner assumptions. That is why you want to create inner union first. That is why you want to get into the state of the wish fulfillment and talk to your masculine that is always with you. There is no separation. Why is there no separation? Because they are part of you. They are inside you. They are alive inside you. They are an energy that you were born with, and then they're just a projection of that energy within you. Heal yourself and you heal them too, because as soon as you change your assumptions about masculine or feminine energy, you change them. You shift timelines where they are exactly the way you see them when you talk to them inside of you. Another thing that's important to mention is that the masculine energy is the one that goes forward, not the distorted. Distorted masculine runs. The distorted feminine chases. But that is not what we want to do. The feminine energy is the receiving energy. Maybe you have noticed in situations, especially if you have like the on-off, when you kind of like resignated and stopped chasing. For some of you, they may have come back. I have many clients where that happened, in that moment where they stopped controlling and they stepped out of the hunting energy. Then all of a sudden, the other person, the man, finally can step more into the energy of going towards the feminine. However, if the feminine still has the distorted energy within her, or still has the assumptions of, yeah, that person is always withdrawing, or still has fears of loss and abandonment, he has to withdraw again. He has to do that as often and as long as you hold that distorted energy within you. So the feminine energy is the one who is receiving. Always say the feminine energy is like a magnet. Once she is in her power, once she is in tarot, there's the queen or the empress or the high priestess with monadic twin flames. Once she stepped into that archetype of not being the needy princess anymore who needs that guy to be happy. No, she's a queen. She's happy on her own. She still wants him, but she doesn't need him to be happy. And she is in her power. And then that is when she's attracting him and drawing him in as the king or emperor or hierophant, kind of depending on the soul connection. All are awesome. All are awesome. Not everyone is here to go through this major transformation and to get to the high level of spiritual awakening. But your person will come in. If you're still a needy princess, you cannot attract a king that is mature and knows what he wants. You will attract the immature prince. It's not going to happen otherwise. So it's important for the feminine to step into the receiving mode, to step into her divine feminine mood. And only a divine feminine can attract a divine masculine, because once she's connected to their own inner divinity and she healed her own inner feminine and masculine, that is getting pushed out, and he gets to mirror that back to her, because again, he is the projection of what is inside her. If she connected to divine, healed, balanced energy, that is when the 3D union comes, and he will be the divine masculine who is balancing on the outside in real life what already has happened in her inside first. So if you go chasing, he's not coming. I'm sorry, it is not possible. Take care of yourself. Learn about the law of assumptions. Work on your self-concept and on your concept about them or masculine or feminine energy in general. And they have to mirror that. If you need more help with that, or if you have questions, you can leave comments below. If you need more help with that, you can contact me for personal coaching. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you want to raise the Twin Flame collective energy, please share my videos. Let's help other Twin Flames to connect to their beloved Twin Flame or their beloved person. If you want to help me, you can leave a little tip. If you want to leave a tip, my PayPal is below. I do see you in another video or in a personal coaching. And till then, I do wish you all the best. Bye-bye.